Well, hello and welcome back to Good Germs Off-Road Adventures, and welcome back to the Striker toy hauler trailer. Anyway, we've got a couple of things we're going to address today, neither of which, it's not the trailer's fault. Not exactly the manufacturer's fault as far as, cruiser RV that make the Striker. More of Lippert strikes again. Anyway, I've said it before, Lippert, they come up with some really good ideas and can't figure out how to execute most of them correctly. Couple of things that we're going to address. The first one I've already addressed once under warranty, and we're going to do it again. And I think, if I remember correctly, in my 1 year, I think it was my 1 year review of the trailer, I mentioned this. It's the lights under the awning. Well, they put awning lights up here in a track that's outside. So it should be made to be outside. However, it can't make it through a single summer without melting from the summer heat. Not from the lights being on, but just summer heat. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I've got the awning out because it's hot. But also you can see the LED light strip that attaches to the bottom of the awning, and hopefully you can see it's extremely warped, melted. The lights are poking out of the bottom. It's coming off of the awning, and it just mounts into a track. You can see that here. So you've got a track on the back side or top side of this thing. It goes on this piece of the awning here, which there's a pipe that goes, a rubber pipe that goes through there, holds it together. But this thing is so poorly designed with poor materials. Maybe it's well designed, made with poor materials. That's what I'm going to say. Well designed, but with poor materials that cannot survive a single summer, at all. And you get this. So that's one thing that we're going to address today. I've got a different light kit we're going to put on and see how that does. No idea it's going to work. We'll get to that in a minute. But the second thing we're going to address is another part of the RV that is designed to be outside. Yet this thing's just over 3 years old, and well, stuff's rotting from the heat and the sun. And that's the screw cover here. Just, fantastically horrible material that can't seem to do anything. Now, I don't know if Lippert made that or not. No way of knowing if Lippert made that or not, but everything else on this rig is Lippert. But anyway, I've already replaced a bunch of that. On this corner, I've already replaced that entire screw cover, and it just covers the screws. It's not there to keep water from getting into the trailer. Here you can see what it's like without it. You do have sealant here, you've got sealant over here, and sealant inside. It's just to cover all the screws to prevent the screws from rotting and water to get in through the screw holes. Speaking of which, there's a screw missing right there. Maybe there was one at one time. It looks like there might have been. No clue. If there was a screw, where'd it go? I tend to think maybe they put some silicone on there. Maybe the screw broke and they decided just to leave it the way it is. It would make sense because I found that all around the coach on the underside. They use cheap screws to attach things to the frame. They break and then they just leave it. Anyway, probably what happened there. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I've already replaced it on that corner. Also, on the top of the awning, you've got a track that the awning fabric goes into on the side of the trailer wall, and that track also has the same screw cover. Let me see if I can get up there and see. Yeah, so you can see we've also got the same screw cover there. That also I had to replace, and I just did those two screw screw covers. Anyway, I just did those two screw covers a couple weeks ago, I think, is when I replaced them, and now I've got to do another one over there, and that's fine. So we're going to get into that today. I think I'm going to start with the screw cover because it's out in the sun. It's going to be hot today, and I kind of need to get those done quickly because I'm looking at the mountains over here and I see monsoon style storm clouds coming. And I know that's probably not coming in very well on the GoPro. So I'm gonna pick up the iPhone here. See if I can zoom that in. You can see we've got some storm clouds brewing over there. And you know, it is that time of year when we would expect to see the monsoon things happen. So like I said, I'm gonna probably start on that corner, get that screw cover replaced there because that's out in the sun and it's hot and it's just gonna keep getting hotter. And then I'll move on to the lights under the awning because at least there I might be protected by the awning. However, if the wind comes up, I gotta pull the awning back in because that awning can't do more than about 5 miles an hour with the wind and it'll just rip right off the side of the RV. Anyway, let's just go get into it. So I'm up here on a ladder. I don't really care for being on ladders. It's not a fear of heights or anything. It's, you know, a bum knee and those things. Anyway, we're up here at the corner of this trim. We're going to get this out. Should be pretty easy. Just got a little bit of silicone here. We're just going to take that off because that's going to reveal a little screw cover. Just take that, get rid of it. That's fine. This side, they really plastered it on, but that's going to all come off. I recommend if you're going to do stuff to an RV or if you're going to own an RV, get yourself some square drive bits because every screw for the most part on an RV is a square drive. Little 12 volt impact is nice because you don't want to overdo it. Okay, I'm going to have to step up a little higher so I can see the top. Definitely don't like that. Okay, there we go. There we go. And there's the screw. Lovely. Doing this one-handed, which is not easy. You can see they used self-tappery things with square heads. That's fine. And can I get, you can see this stuff's just peeling off. Not the best material they've used here probably for weather sealing, but that's all right. Let's see if we can get this out now. The other side wasn't so difficult. See, we've got that rest of that out. Let's pull the silicone out of here, or whatever that is. That's fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna insert the new one up in here far enough to where that screw will catch it, and that'll be lovely. And I'm just gonna set my screw right here in the little rain guttery drip thing and hope we don't forget that that's where we put that. Let's go down and get the rest of that off and then we'll get the new stuff. I don't think I'm going to try to record as I walk down the ladder. I think that's too dangerous. So let's just meet down at the bottom. Okay, we're down at the bottom again and we're just going to get the rest of this junk out of here like that. And then down here at the bottom, I'm just going to pull it off and there we go. And then we're going to take this garbage and throw it away. All right, so I picked up this kit here on the old Amazon and it's got about 100 feet of that, whatever, the screw cover, what do they call it? RV trim insert for RV molding. Yep. And of course I did buy the black, so that's what I'm replacing with. You can get it in white and you can get it in the off-white tan color, whatever you need to match the side of your RV. Anyway, this is what's in the kit. You get a box that opens. You get, like I said, about 100 feet roll of it, 100-foot roll of it. They give you some end cap things and they give you some new screws. They're black because I ordered black. They're self-tappers. Oddly though, they are a Phillips head varietal instead of the square bit, which is fine. That just means keep both in your toolkit in your RV and you're good to go. Installation's pretty simple, and I believe when I did the last couple of trim bits that I did, the moldings, I ended up cutting off a piece that probably will be just right. But we're gonna see, because I cut off one that's way too long, and I think what was left of that was just right for doing it again. And I didn't do the other side that we're doing today because, well, it looked fine. And now it's 2 weeks later and it's rotting off of it. You can see we've got a shape here, very simple. The edges of this just go into the edges of the thing, of the, you know, the track. You'll see when we go to put it on. It's got a little natural arch to it and it will go right in. So I'm gonna take this and meet you back at the top of the ladder again. Okay, we're back at the top of the ladder, and I just looked over at them stormy monsoony clouds. It's getting darker and bigger. I guess we better probably hurry. It's too bad the wife's still asleep. She loves this stuff. I mean, I do too, but she's all about this kind of stuff. Anyway, we got to get to getting, as she would say. All right. So I had to put the camera down for a minute because I found it quite difficult to try to hold the camera with one hand. I've got no way to mount it up here at the very tippy top of this big ladder. And what was I saying? Anyway, so I've gone ahead and just put the top in, put the screw in to hold it in place. It's very simple. You know, you just get this thing started in here, get it far enough back to where that screw will go into it to hold it in place. And now we're just gonna kind of feed it into the track all the way down. This is not complicated. It's not difficult. The only thing that makes it difficult is because the sun's been on it all morning. It is hot. And true story, a couple weeks ago when I was doing this, it was 100 degrees out here. And not so much on the front. I was doing the awning side over there. And it, down a step on the ladder, scary. Ooh. Anyway, it was so hot up there, I was actually burning my hand. It was not pleasant. And this front cap of this RV.
Oh, that's an RV.
Is, well, it's hot. But it's not as hot as that because now the sun's disappearing behind them clouds. So we got to get to getting, and I am not messing around. Okay. And I'm looking down at how much we have down there for slack. I think this strip is plenty long enough. Look, this stuff cuts real easy with some scissors, utility knife, whatever. Of course, we are going to come back to the top and put some black exterior RV silicone sealant back up there. I don't know if it's silicone. It's supposed to be for this. Anyway, we'll come back to that when we wrap up this part of today's project. But for now, what I'm going to do, why did I come off the ladder? Now I can't reach it. I need to get back up on the ladder. Goodness gracious, I am a mess today because now I'm in a hurry. Anyway, what I'm going to do is go ahead and put the camera down and finish putting this trim molding down the front of the trailer here, and then I'll bring you back when we go to fix up the bottom of it real nice. Okay, probably could have kept the camera on for all that because it literally took me all of about another 90 seconds to finish it. Like I said, this is a really easy job if you've got to replace this stuff. But we've got it run all the way down to the bottom, all the way up to the tippy top. And before I finish, I wanted to make sure that I didn't have any places where it didn't, push into the track, where it might be sticking out a little bit. Just want to make sure all the way along it's pushed in. When you do it, you don't want to stretch it because it's going to shrink a little bit, potentially. Probably not. It might do. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so now we're going to cut the bottom and put the cap on the bottom and put the sealant back at the top, and that'll be it for this project. So first, I'm going to put my knees down into these rocks because it feels so good. And now I'm going to just cut this sort of like that. That's nice. I'm going to take my end cap, which is going to fit sort of there, but I'm going to put the sealant all in it and all in here. I don't even know if that's coming out on the camera. Anyway, get all that sealant in there like that. Get my screw ready. I'm gonna get this set where I want it. Get my screw in here, and here we go. Like that. And now you can see we've got all the silicone in there, and you can do what you want with the silicone or whatever this is stuff. This is the stuff I'm using. It's called Black Adhesive Sealant Silicone RTV from Permatex. I ordered a couple of these tubes when I ordered the the kit with the, I'm just making a mess. We'll come back and get that with paper towel. This stuff is messy. But anyway, that's the bottom done. I'm going to set this down, wipe off my fingers a little bit, and we'll get back up to the top. Let me tell you, it is getting darker and dark. Well, not that way. We still got blue skies over there. It is getting darker over there. Look, y'all, we can use the rain. Southern California, I've forgotten what rain looks like, smells like, feels like. Anyway, all we're going to do is we're going to fill this screw hole up like that, and then do our best to shove this junk in places. And I know that that's not good enough. Anybody that knows anything about what they're doing is cursing me and saying, you're doing that wrong, and you're probably right. And now I'm just making it more messier, and that's fine. You're probably right. Oh yeah, let's just make a mess out of it. That's fine. Anyway, got the screw hole covered. That's covered. This is already like that, so we're going to leave that alone right there. It's kind of peeling off. At some point, we'll reseal all of the sealant places on this roof, but not today. That'll do for that. And this project or mini project of today's project of replacing this trim molding, well, now that's finished. On to the next. All right, so with that done now, let's have a look at these lights. Showed you a little while ago, a few minutes ago, that they, well, they're messed up. Anyway, but they still work. Check this out. They still work, even though right about there, they're melty, kinked, all those things, but they still work. Also notice they're this ugly shade of bluish white. Oh, hey, Bo's out and Lucky. There they are, neighbor's dogs. Anyway, they're not a nice color, whatever that color temperature is. My wife, she knows, she's in lighting. She knows all of the color temperatures, and she told me what it was, but I can't be bothered to remember. But it's that nasty bluish white. When we break out the new ones, show them to you, it's a nicer white, and they're pretty bright. Anyway, turn those off. We're gonna get to taking them down. The wires just come off the light strip here and come down the awning thing, so we're gonna pull the little protective track out, store that in a safe place that will, anyway, and then this is the wires here that go to the switch. And when the dealer did their warranty work, they just used regular butt connectors, which is, I mean, it works, but it's up here where weather can get, it's up here where weather can get in it, and they couldn't be bothered to, whatever. We're gonna do something with heat shrink or whatever to seal those up when we put the new one. Anyway, let's get this out. Need to dispose of zip ties. Probably keep this cable wrap though, because it protects from the edge, you know what I mean? Okay, so I need a pair of cutters to cutter the zip ties here, and then cut the wire. Can I do this and holding the camera? That is the question. Yeah. Zip tie. Let's, oh, you can see there's a bit of a mess on these wires. Let's go ahead and cut them here. We can strip that away. Okay, so this is disconnected, and now we can get this out. Like I said, you can just, it's up here, the thing that holds it on. That's a bit garbagey, in my opinion. We need to pull that out somehow. Well, maybe if we go on the stairs over there. Nope, that's not high enough or close enough. The reason why it's difficult is because this thing's just been coming off, and well, it's pinching it. Can I just start pulling it off? I don't want to tear the awning. You can see that's on there. I don't want to tear that. But how much of that from down there can come off? I don't know. There was about a 2 or 3 foot stretch of this that had come out and was dangling to down all the way down to here. And I just cut it off. Let's see if that end will just pull off. I say that because look, it's already kind of, that's a scary sound, and I can feel the cord right there is where that ribbed or that piping starts right there. I just don't want to tear the awning. Oh, it's scary. Okay, did it tear? No. Good. Not so funny story. Some friends of ours bought a brand new toy hauler, not the same make, not a Striker, and it's got the same exact awning and awning lights, and theirs damn near came off as they were going down the road because the sun had warped it so badly, and they only had it for like a month or two, and the sun had ruined this plastic strip so badly that, like I said, it almost came off going down the road for them. Horrible, horrible lipper. So they had it fixed under warranty as well. And of course they had to argue with the dealer. I had to argue with the dealer quite a bit. Okay, got it out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. The lights still work. So should I save on it for the use of the lights? I don't know, but for now let's just bring it in the shop here and, I don't know, set it on the floor or something. Lovely. Well, let's get on the ladder, pull that piping out, and double check that we didn't tear anything on the awning, because that was extremely not comfortable sounding. Doesn't look like it. Let's get this piping pulled out. There it comes. You can actually buy this light strip from Lippert. It's like $150, and it comes with the piping as long as you have this awning type. Don't. It is garbage. There we go. What do I do with this piping? I think I'm going to roll it up and save on it, because you never know when you might need it for something else. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so the light strip the new light strip that I bought is supposed to be 20 feet. I'm going to measure, because this awning is also supposed to be 20 feet, but I don't know which part of the awning is 20 feet. Is the fabric 20 feet? Is the track 20 feet? Is it 20 feet between the Frame bits, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is measure the frame bits and see how many feet it is. Is this metal? No. Why isn't that metal? I mean, it's metal, but it's aluminum. So the magnetic thing won't work there. Can it work here? Oh yeah, it can work there. Okay. So that's 18 feet to the door, and that's 19 feet to there. Interesting. Okay. So inside the frame is like 18 feet and about 9 and some change inches, maybe almost like 9.5 inches. The strip lights are 20 feet, but I do see a gap between the top of the frame of the awning and the track. And that gap is wide enough for the light track. It's just higher than I would really want it to be, because that would put it all the way up against the awning fabric. Well, let me tell you what, let me roll the awning in and see if that's going to work. Come on, tape measure, go home. Go home. There we go. Okay, these are the tracks it came with, and you can see they're really thin. 3M adhesive backed. The light goes in the track here, but you can see it's only about whatever that is, maybe a half inch, probably less than a half inch, 3/8 of an inch, something like that. Anyway, it's not very tall. These are supposed to be 4 feet in the length. Let's see if that is indeed true, and there's 5 of them. 5 times 4 in American math is 20 feet. Yeah, 4 feet, okay. Let's just take one of these. Let's just take one of these and go see if that's gonna fit between the track and the frame. I mean, we can trim it down, right? This is, you can cut it, the lights can be cut. So that might be something we have to do. Open the door for no reason other than it's a good idea. See that, oh, that doesn't fit up there. So we're probably gonna have to trim everything. So if that's the case, we should run it just based on where the fabric is, if we're gonna have to trim it all. Let's pull the awning back and see where we can mount it. This has got to be the slowest awning return ever. Talk amongst yourselves. Come up with your own topic. Okay, so here's what I was getting at. If I put this light strip up against the bottom, I mean, it'll work. But if I put it down lower, you know what? We're just going to put it right against the bottom of the track. I think that's what we're going to do. That'll make it easy. And then when we get to this end, we'll just trim it kind of where we want it and make it a custom length model. Let's open this back up. I think I pinched the wires down there at that end. Yep, surely did. And so when the awning's out, this light strip will sit right up there. I think that'll be just fine. It'll be hopefully secured and not wobbly like that. Anyway. I don't think I'm going to put it all the way out in case we get crazy wind out of nowhere, because that's moving in and I don't know what it's going to do. So I'm looking at the light strip that came with this new kit, and the length is customizable as you would expect from any LED light strip. It's got a place where the where it's got a symbol of some scissors. That's not going to focus. Ooh. Anyway, it's right sort of there. There's a little tiny pair of scissors right there. Hard to see, blurry. I'm about 3/4 of an inch away from the camera lens, but I'll circle it anyway. And it looks like it's only about every 2 inches. So that's pretty good. So we're not going to cut it now. We're going to go ahead and get started and get it put up, and then we'll cut it up on the trailer thing. But anyway, I'm brought back to the question of how long am I going to make this thing? So should I start it where the fabric stops? Should I start it at the edge of the frame? We know there's not enough room to go above between the frame and the track. We know that. But should I start it where the awning goes, or there? I don't know, because once I do it, I can't really undo it, Some of me wants to do it where the awning starts. Because that makes sense. But also, some of me wants to do it out where the frame starts. In case I ever have to replace the awning, I don't have to worry about lining the awning up to the lights mounted to the wall. However, if I ever have to replace the awning, it's going to be with an awning of it's going to be the same awning. So the width should be exactly the same. So getting it lined up shouldn't be difficult. I think I probably just answered my own question. The old lights started at the edge of the awning because it attached to the awning. Sorry, I suffer from indecision. I didn't think about this beforehand, so now I have to dwell on this decision now. I don't know what we're going to do. Okay, I've made a decision. We're going to start at the awning, and we have to get at it. Those stormy things, they were coming. And well, I've already felt water hit my neck, so we got to get at it. Okay, so I've already cleaned it. We need to pull the protective backing off of it. I'm no expert, as we all know, so we're just going to do the best we can. So I'm just going to kind of put it there. Shoot. Crap. Oh, no, come back. Oh, come back. Oh, let me tell you something about that 3M adhesive. It's all there. Yeah, okay. That looks good. Okay, that'll do. It's so strong, it actually pulled, when I had to remove it, a little tiny chunk of decal off. Thankfully, we're going to cover that up. So, do not try to do this one-handed while holding a camera and also stick it on there all at once. Yeah, because not a good idea. So what I'm going to do is probably go ahead. Well, this is kind of tall. I don't have the tripod that's going to reach up this way. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can put it on the tripod. We're just going to get the other 4 bits put on, cut it off at the end, and I guess that's what we're going to do. Oh yeah, that works better. Okay, now we're just going to make a mark where it's going to end, and we can cut it. For this last piece, I didn't show cutting it pretty much any cutters will do. I used a pair of cutters that's got the blade on one side and a flat bit on its opposite side, and it cut right through this quite nicely. Honestly, it's some cutters. I don't even know where I got them. I think I got them out of my dad's old toolbox many years ago. Anyway, you know I love using dad's tools whenever I get a chance. Okay, now I think it's time we can try to start putting the lights up. Okay, bring the ladder back over and I guess do something different with the camera. Here we are, the roll of the lights. I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. This should just push up in that track. It fits quite nicely up in that track is what I want to say. And what I mean by nicely is I don't think it's going to fall out. Yeah, can I do this one-handed? I really don't know. Those of you who like YouTube and making YouTube videos all the time, you know the struggle. Those of you that don't do it, let me tell you, sometimes it is downright difficult. So I'm gonna stick some of this just up here, pull some out. Okay, that's fine. And can I just start it? Oh, yeah, here comes the monsoon winds. Do I need to start it outside of the track? Oh, hear the thunder. That thing's a coming. I may need to catch back up with y'all after a bit. Anyway, I was hoping that end would go inside the track, but it didn't. And now, well, let's just continue. This just pushes in the track like that. Very easy. So what I'm going to do is go put the camera somewhere else. I'm just going to turn it off, right? Because you see what I'm doing. I'm just pressing it into that track. I'm going to run it down to the other end. Once I get down there, before I cut it, I'll catch back up with you, and we will then sort of see where we are. All right, I've got the light strip run all the way down the length of the awning. As you can see, fits nicely in the track. It's a nice thick, that's the thickness. There's the lights, that's the thickness. But as you can tell, of course, we had to cut everything and we have that much left. But thankfully, the cutting place is right almost exactly within 1/8 of an inch or so of the end of our track. So we're gonna cut it there. And what I did is I took the little rubber end cap off this end of the wire, and I'm gonna see if I can get it to go there and cover the end of that real nice. Anyway, I'm gonna put the rubber thing in my pocket so I don't lose it. Grab some scissors, which I have acquired here, and I'm gonna pull that out a touch and see if I can cut it. Oh, there's some thundering happening. It's a good time to be outside on a ladder. Yeah, okay. I can't. Oh, I'm just gonna cut it, there. I can't seem to hold the camera and do it at the same time, so give me a sec. Oh, well, that cut much easier than I thought it would. Okay, I guess we don't need that anymore. Let's see if I can put the rubber piece on there and then get it to go in the track. I may have to put you down again. Hold on. This isn't going to work. I think I'm going to have to put some silicone there on the end to protect it from the moisture. Anyway, now we've got to go back to the other end, and we've got to, wire it up. Okay, well, this here monsoonal thing, it is blowing in. As a matter of fact, you can see the wind blowing all that dust right there, and there's this dog out there that got out somehow. Anyway, it is blowing all the dust all crazy with the wind. It's dropped about 15 degrees. You can see behind me That's looking dark. I was just talking to my neighbor about it, wasting time talking when I should be doing this. So we're gonna try to knock out this wiring. We're gonna knock out this here wiring. We're gonna fix this wiring up, hopefully right quick. I've got my heat gun, I've got my heat shrink butt connectors, I've got strippers, crimpers, and nowhere to put the camera, so I'm gonna see how to do this. Now, I don't even know if you can see anything or not. Doing the best I can. I took my, well, what happened to my other tripod? It's too windy, it'll get blown over. Okay, can you see here? Yeah, okay. We're just gonna leave that like that. Okay. Set my connectors there. Okay, let's get the cheater strippers out. Okay. Yep. Now, I don't know if you're seeing any of this. That's okay. Did I make that not work? Yep. I just need an extra little bit of thickness on these wires. There we go. Okay, that's good. That's that one. Lovely. Okay, get a little higher, get the other ones. Okay, these wires had a bunch of silicone crap on it. You know, connecting these is pretty simple. You're just doing black to black, red to red, simple 12 volt type situation. You know, if these lights work out, by the end of this here video, I'm gonna go ahead and put a link to them. Like I said, I got them on the Amazon. They're from a company called Rec Pro. They're about, for this kit, I think it was $67 at the time that I bought them, so not bad at all. Most RV awning LED light kits are a lot more expensive than that. Okay, the wiring's done. Before I go ahead and heat shrink that, I'm gonna give them a quick test. Oh yeah, we'll come back to that. I just wanted to make sure that it worked. Okay, and there's the finished connection. All that's left really to do here is bundle these wires up and get them in there nice and safe. For that, I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera down somewhere else, and I'll just show you the finished product on that. Probably just show you the finished product on all of it. So I'll catch back up with you when that's all done. I can show you what we done here did. Okay, folks, we are done. That looks pretty good. Let's give it a test. Okay. Ready? And lights. Those look pretty snazzy. Okay. Let me show you what I did here with the wiring if I don't trip over my own feet. So very similar to the way it was, you know, I've put this back on. I just saved the old one, put that in there, and then now I'm just going to insert that covery thing like that. That's protected We have lights, and wow, it's actually in a nice straight row. That's pretty fancy. And then on this end, I did put a dab of that black silicone stuff, and I managed to get a little bit on the wall, so once that dries, I'll just take it off. And I put black on it because I don't have any clear. It's fine. Anyway, I want to see, I'm not going to run the awning all the way out because this monsoon is still surrounding us. But I do want to see what this looks like. I do want to see, the door almost came at me because windy things. Anyway, I want to see what this looks like with the awning all the way up. So can I do, yeah, that'll work. It's behind the lights, but honestly, so are the other ones. Sorry, the lights are behind the awning, but like I said, so are the other ones, honestly. They would hang way up inside. So, yeah, looks pretty good. How far do I dare run this out? No farther than that. Okay, let's put this back in and turn them off. That's fancy. Well, there we go. We have solved a couple of problems that after just 3 years and some bits, 3.5 years, whatever it is, we've solved some problems on the striker that quite honestly we never should have had. Anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. I like hanging out with you all. I really do. I appreciate y'all watching, subscribing, making comments, sharing, all those things. It means a lot to me. I'm, trying to grow this channel now for a couple of years, and it's slow going, but that's pretty typical from what I understand. Anyway, I guess that'll be it for today. I guess y'all ride safe, you camp safe, you do work safe, and maybe, don't be doing work in the middle of a monsoon that's building all around you, because that's probably not safe, especially if you're up on ladders. Anyway, that'll do it. We'll see you later. Bye-bye now.